Hello, Realm of Progeny. We welcome you to another The More You Know podcast with the voice.
And the Felly. Hey, girl. So, what are we doing today? Oh, I know. We should talk about electricity and its after effects of, like when it's used improperly.
Felly, that is not what we're going to be talking about today. Although I can see you have little tremors going on there, so we may have to really hide the electric stuff from you. But what we are going to talk about today is, drum roll please, we're going to be talking about the laws of our realm. There are laws that can get you in trouble with our diabolics, and there are some that will land you possibly in court. So, Ellie, Ellie,
Hmm.
girl,
What?
what are you doing over there?
What? I'm so.
This is serious. People need to know these laws. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know them. We need to know
I,
these laws, so let's get serious.
okay. Yeah, I know they do. I was just funning. Don't be such a fun sucker.
Yeah, I got your fun sucker, all right.
Oh, goodness. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's start with the system laws. Some call them diabolic laws. Whatever you call them, you break them, you annoy our diabolics, and could be very well meeting a certain death, being dusted, as we say, for different lengths of time. Some of these laws should be common sense, but when one assumes,
Well, you know what they say about assumptions.
right?
So here we go. Let's start with law number one. Big one here. There is no biting anywhere within 30 meters of a Lachelle, Hyperion, or a diabolic anywhere in the world unless permission is given by Lachelle or the diabolic in question. That being said, it is also law. You can't bite a diabolic either. Period. So, law number two, biting a diabolic is cause for instant death and or a system ban. So one would think these are very much common sense laws, but folks, people have done it. They've done it.
Well, I did accidentally bite in front of a diabolic once. I was in a fight, left to fix the HUD, came back, and just immediately went after the person and didn't see that a diabolic had landed in the meantime.
Oh no.
Oops. Well, my lesson was learned, and the lesson was always be aware of your surroundings.
That's right, Felly. Sometimes they will what we call dove the area, which the diabolics have the ability to make an area not attackable. So you can't bite there. You can't attack another person. So a dove appearing on your HUD gives you the indication that that is a doved area. So, however, other times they might not do that. So you have to be aware and pay attention.
Right? Our apologies, folks. For some of these laws, we end up going out of character speech as they speak of things that are, well, out of character. Law number three, vampires that wish to manifest themselves as Claudia style vampires, meaning child avatars, child vampires, are more than welcome to do so, so long as it is in keeping with SLTOS. Now, if you are unsure of SLTOS for children, please look it up and follow up. There is no tolerance, and you can end up not only out of PV, but you can end up out of SL.
That's right. So, Felly, do you know that there is a land you can go to where it is lawless?
Yeah, I know. But dude, tell me more.
Alrighty then. So, number four, the sim known as Ibiza, which is Freebie Galaxy, been there forever, is declared a lawless wasteland. So, vampires who travel there do so at their own risk. There is no diabolic law, interclan law, or intraclan law will be enforced at that location. So go there at your own risk, guys, or for your own delight, whichever, or however you look at it. But just know there is no safety there.
Okay, so here's another one that I thought would be common sense is law number 5. The following are words and terms that are restricted from use as the name of clans or houses. Be advised, this includes any translations of these words as well. So don't try to be sneaky. Outcast, rogue, source, appearing, diabolic, Cambion, nor the forenames of any of these holding the titles. Like, for example, you can't name your house or clan Lachille, Oberon, Cassie, etc., etc. If used in any derogatory fashion and without the permission of the used named person. Arch, blood regent, arch advisor, or names of individuals holding these roles, again without the permission, which means you can't use the names of established people without their permission. Like you can't say your house is the Fangs of Felly, Church Darkfire, without me saying it's okay. By the way, message me. Haha, wink, wink. Anyway, finally, finally, you can't use any word that is deemed profane, insulting, offensive, and thus risks bringing the tone of our system into disrepute. Again, I thought it was common sense, but
So, with that being said, Felly, to go along with that, we have law number 6. There's also words and titles you can't use in your scans. Unless you, in fact, hold a title, you cannot use a title. Aperion, Diabolic, Cambion, Infernal, Archvampire, Blood Regent, Archadvisor, Sovereign, Rogue. Also, Outcast, Sovereign, Co-Sovereign, Ambassador, Proxy, Princeps, Delegate, and Liaison. And of course, no words that are considered profanity, insulting, or offensive are acceptable. You can, however, make some fun titles for your house members. If you didn't know this already, assign titles that are important to your clan or the house that maybe are not official roles of our realm, but you wish to recognize, you know, for your clan or house purposes. Just have some common sense.
right? Okay, so laws 7 through 10 all deal with our most important law of masquerade, protecting our secrets. We even make our familiars pledge to protect our secrets. So these laws are really, very important. No progeny player will show a non progeny player the system scans in public. No progeny player will reveal another progeny player's true identity of being a progeny vampire systems member. Information about bytes or any other system attack or system data shall not be revealed to any non progeny player, neither by private or public means. Now, revealing your own identity as a progeny player is not a violation. You can scream it from the rooftops, but you can't just tell them that somebody else is a vampire.
Hmm.
By the way, there are many that feel that attacking others violates our masquerade. It does not. Humans do not know what we are doing unless they are told what we are doing. Don't tell, Snitches get stitches, y'all.
Hmm. So, there is a law in the realm that many may not be aware of, generally called the respect law. So, number 11, all vampires who are recognized clan officers, proxies, ambassadors, co-sovereigns, sovereigns, blood regents, and arch-vampires are required to treat each other with respect and in a diplomatic manner in all public venues and within official, diabolically sponsored channels. So keep that in mind, folks. Number 12. All vampires below the station of clan officers must likewise treat with respect all other vampires equal to or above that station, with respect and decorum due their station, in all public venues and as well as diabolically sponsored private venues. So, number 13 is sharing of disrespectful comments from private conversations by any participant in that private conversation will be treated as a violation of the above laws. So, basically, all of our realm events are meant to be in our roles and show the respect those roles demand from our realm. This is part of role play.
Sure is. Sure is. So let's talk about our homes for a second. Many of us go ahead and ban people from where we work and from our homes as security issues arrive or before they arrive. So let's, number 14, do not use progeny system components to attack others while on parcels and regions where you are banned. Vampires who are region or parcel banned and use third party tools to access those restricted locations are and subsequently use progeny components to attack individuals who have the rights to be on those locations will be in violation of this rule. So, if you magically bypass and find yourself on a property you are banned from and attack, just know that you have done a no no. Also, a no no. Law number 15. No vampire may attack another vampire without consent in the private home of another vampire where the intended victim is the land's owner or invited guest. Taking part in an organizing RP story is exempt from this law. You have to have the storyteller's permission.
And that would be progeny slarp, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or if even if you're doing your own progeny role play that's not official in their SLARP channel, so to speak, it's still your own RP. Get to permission and local. A private home is defined as private land owned by a progeny player, a progeny vampire, parcel or region intended for private personal use. This protection extends to the owner and any guests who have been granted guest rights by the rightful owner. So, when is a home not a home? When it is used for official clan or house business as a base of operations for official meetings, gatherings, etc., etc. As official clan or house social or political functions. Open to the public is a in the form of a business. So for those that like, for example, res out heartstones and stuff like that, or do things in their on their home parcel, I would say don't do it in your living room. Have a separate box, have it away from where you spend most of your time, because it could confuse a progeny player and say, and their argument would be that that looks like a clan or a house home to me because you have all this paraphernalia out that's system oriented. Just a thought. It could go either way, depending on the evidence. Just saying. But also, one can protect their home however they need to. I mean, sure thing. Come to my home. What's that term? FAFO?
Mm-hmm. True on that, Felly, but still nice to sit on the couch and watch that, you know, human TV.
Right? Bridgertons. Woo woo.
Woo woo. Okay. Back on topic. We have a few more diabolic laws to talk about. Things you can't use during combat. So, number 16, the use of invisibility devices that remove the name tag, the name and the tag, in conjunction with the progeny system components against other progeny players are strictly prohibited. Biting a progeny player while invisible with no name tag, don't do it. Don't go invisible and me attacking another progeny player. Also, it must be verified with a video or several screenshots of the full screen of the viewer. You can go out and feed on humans and be invisible, but you can't be invisible when engaging another from our progeny realm in combat. Again, you cannot be invisible or remove your tags to make yourself more invisible when engaging with another progeny player in combat.
Now there's some features that are deemed illegal by our system. The following features on a third-party device are strictly prohibited. Interceptions of HUD to HUD or HUD to FANGS communications, strictly prohibited. Meaning it's reading the byte or it's reading the communication about the byte or whatever, and that's illegal. And some call that feature byte anticipator. Another feature, offsets modifications. It's changes in the adjustments or displacements applied to the position or rotation of the hitbox in respect to the avatar's body. Meaning, your body is not where it appears to be. Like when you are dancing, it's just an animation that's making your body go all over the place. However, your body is still in the same place. All right, so pushers, any device that pushes the opponents. A lot of followers have a tracking range less than like zero point 0.8 meters, will have a pusher effect. So it is recommended to configure them at a greater distance, like NPV. So just watch how strong the pusher is because most followers have them. Devices that keep the attacker behind the opponent, preventing the opponent from choosing the attacker as a target. In case the opponent is not using a follower, they will not be able to compensate for this action of any normal follower. So it will not be considered a violation. Now, if you are unsure of the features in a HUD that you have, contact your line leaders, your clan leaders, your house leaders, and if that fails, contact your friendly neighborhood diabolic because you don't want to be out there using illegal things in a HUD. Just saying.
That's right, Felly. There's also number 18, the use of non-progeny HUDs, meaning the magic HUD, griefing, combat, or otherwise, that can freeze, detain, or crash an avatar. Those are strictly prohibited. In system attack by the user of the HUD or by some other player who's in collusion with the user of the HUD must be proven. So, how do you prove all this? The rules Felly mentioned, and these two, well, it must be verified with a video or several screenshots of the full screen of the viewer. Now, there is a thing with this law you must know. That is the FAFO. Is that if you attack ones that are on land that they own, one can do whatever means they want to protect their land. Now, there have also been times where people are so involved in a fight they do not wish it to end. However, sometimes you just have to let it go. So let it go. Go find somebody else to play with. These people have taken their toys and gone home. Number 19, using third party tools to track and follow a vampire who is teleported away in order to flee combat. Don't be that person. Using software to find out where their fleeing vampire went to and following them, chasing them from sim to sim. How boring. However, this does not apply when a vampire simply crosses the sim boundaries to a neighboring sim. Or say the use of scouts, meaning that fleeing vampires TPs to a sim where one of your allies is hanging out and they TP you in. And this rule is strictly for tracking and following post TP via third party tools and viewer attacks and hacks, etc.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go. Let it go. Okay. I busted out in the song again. All right,
I
y'all.
knew you were going to.
You know that progeny land violations also fall under diabolic laws. Can earn you some dustings and ban from our own lands. So let it be known. Upon entering any of the official progeny lands, you are agreeing to follow these rules. Should you break them, you will be permanently banned from progeny sims. There are no attacks of any kind on anywhere on progeny sims, except, we have exceptions, except during Ravage event. Attacks consist of any attack acts of aggression, such as, but not limited to, biting or combat with weapons, not agreed upon previously by all parties involved. Such agreements need to be recorded and provided upon requests, or the actions will be assumed to have not been consented to. Griefing will not be tolerated. All TOS rules are to be observed. This is a mature sim, not an adult sim. No nudity, no public sexual acts. Child avatars, again, are allowed so long as they maintain the standards of SL decency. Again, if you are not aware of the rules of child TOS, or any TOS for that matter, feel free to look them up. If you are going to engage in being a child, you should know the rules for them. Well, honestly, if you're going to engage in lots of actions in progeny, you should know the rules of TOS. Linden Labs does not care if you know or you don't know. They will just ban your account.
Yep, exactly. They will. They will. You should know Linden Labs TOS and follow Linden Labs TOS. And this includes you should know progeny laws. You should know diabolic law, GCSE law. You should know these things. There's no excuse for not knowing it. The information is out there.
It is.
On top of that, you want to battle something out, you got a grudge, whatever, go hit the war sim. You can bite all you want to over there. So, moving on. Now that we covered all the dumb ways to die by a diabolic, let's talk GCSE laws. GCSE laws are laws that come from the community during the GCSE meetings throughout our history in the realm. These are laws for the community by the community and can be punishable by our community in our PLS. That is the Progeny Legal System.
Absolutely. And you can find out more information on the PLS by watching the More You Know podcast on the PLS. Ha ha. Ha. Shameful plug.
Shameful. Gotta plug it, man.
And you can find a written list of both these laws at the Scribes Guild. Just pop on your progeny tag. Boom. All right. Now, the most well-known GCSE law is the work protection law, but there are many, many more. Hit it, girl.
Well, correct, my friend. And if you wish to change any laws, do the research, make a motion, have the discussions, attend the meetings. And by the way, there are more you know podcasts on the meetings too. Hint, hint. But back to the GCSE laws. Law number 1, inciting cross bloodlines war. Interesting one. Clans and houses may develop their own policies as to war and peace, but only the arch of a bloodline or blood regent may declare a bloodline's war. Clan sovereigns or house leaders may develop their own policies on war and peace, but they may not invoke in the name of the bloodline, as this is the sole province of the arch or the blood regent. Law number 2, defamation of character. It shall be unlawful to intentionally use false communication, whether it is written or spoken, that harms another person's reputation, decreases the respect, regard, or confidence in which a person is held, or induces disparaging, hostile, or disagreeable opinions or feelings against a person. And law number 3, interference in the sovereignty of other houses or clans. Let it be written that thy domain is thine own concern. To all outsiders owe thee respect while within it. No outsiders may challenge thy word while within thy domain.
That means even though in a bloodline, the bloodline can offer advice and have their own rules and wishes for members of their line. However, they can't interfere in your clan. But the choice you may have to make is to leave that line if their wishes interfere with your desires for your clan. For example, it could be that your line leaders love polka dots and they wish all wear these polka dots. And you, on behalf of your clan, say, no, I can't stand polka dots. This is not for us. And then you decide to leave and go to another line where you can wear anything that you wish. This is not really something that's for the PLS, but it is something clan leaders should know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's also some other laws here. Let's go forward. Law number 4, fraud. There will be no intentional deception made for personal gain or to damage another. Law number 5, public disorder. Let it be written that all are free to roleplay as they see fit. However, it will not be tolerated to intentionally attempt to sway a person's creative style with excessive drama or off-color statements. Law number 6, treason, high treason. Thy will not attempt by acts to overthrow the leadership of one's house or clan, which they owe their allegiance to, unless the leader has been absent for more than 60 days. One has the right to change their allegiance without the attempt to overthrow.
Yeah, there are really some good laws on our books that I, for one, would like to see our PLS have to rule on. Not that I
Yeah, that would be
It
entertaining.
really would be. Not that I would want to see ones break the law, but just saying that just to hear the cases would be interesting, I think. So let's go on to law number 7. Repeat offenders. We gotta love repeat offenders. Let it be written that repeat offenses can and will incur harsher penalties. Law 8, theft. There shall not be any trickery of another to influence the payment of linden for the opportunity of being embraced in a progeny, as it is a free system to play in. So, I don't need your linden to bring you into progeny. Law 9, abuse of judicial powers. It is herein written that no judge or lawyer in the court system will be above the law, as all are created equal and would be judged fairly. Ooh, I bet that last one I mentioned would be really entertaining.
Right? And just as I'm sure that there's never any repeat offenders, I'm sure that there's never any that create alts.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, this next law. Law number 10, creating and using alts. It shall be unlawful to create and use alts with the intent of causing harm to person or property. And it's a shame that I have heard of this happening. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying.
Yep, that's a fact.
Law number 11, threats of bodily harm. There will be no threats of bodily harm within a house or clan for changing loyalty within a system. Yeah, we haven't heard of that happening either.
Nah, never.
Uh,
Mm-mm. Nah.
Law number 12, abuse of power. Abuse of power by any player, especially house or clan leaders, is strictly prohibited. This has never happened either.
Mm-mm. No. So, okay, Law 13, freedom of religion. We, the Grand Council of Sovereign Clans, the GCSC, will make no law prohibiting the freedom of religion or the free practicing whereof. Law number 14, freedom of speech. I love this law. We, the Grand Council of Sovereign Clans, GCSC, will make no law prohibiting the freedom of speech. Includes, but not limited to, the freedom of written word, which laws contained hereafter will only pertain to the harm of one's character or reputation. Now, while we do have these freedoms, we do not have these freedoms in our chats. There are chat rules. Keep religion out of our chats. Freedom of speech does not mean that you can be disrespectful in speech towards others and have disruptive speech. Foul language at our events or in our chats. Please keep all that in mind, folks.
Right? Okay, so here's the big one. Seems to be the only one that anyone remembers. Here's the big one. Law 15, protection. We, the Great Council of Sovereign Clans, have a responsibility to provide protection at the workplace against abusive attacks, except for those perpetrated after a formal declaration of war. If the attack vampire is not honest in their claim to have been working at the time of the attack, it will also be considered a violation of this resolution. This law was highly contested and is probably the most violated law in the land. Well, maybe tied with masquerade breaks.
Facts.
But
That's facts.
this goes with being aware of your surroundings. Watch what people are doing before you attack them. Just a thought, just a thought. Remember also that tags don't always tell the story. If someone messages you stating that they are working, they don't have to prove anything to you that they are in fact working, but know that they probably do have the proof. And really, is it worth the risk to go ahead and attack? Just saying.
So, Felly, we just have a few more left to tell you about. I know, seems like a long list, but it's not really. And many are just like we said, common sense. Say it together, Felly. Common
Common sense.
sense. Yeah. So, law number 16 is due process. We, the vampires of progeny, have the right of due process. In all prosecutions brought forth, we have the right of a speedy and public trial or other form of mediation in accordance with the PLS standards, with impartial judges and the right of counsel of choice. Law number 17, fair punishment. We, the vampires of progeny, have the right of fair punishment within the law of progeny, and furthermore, that the punishment fits the crime committed. And law number 18, freedom of choice. We, the vampires of Progeny, have the right to go outcast if we so wish to leave our current home. We have the right to then be informed of the official consequences of leaving as designated from Graves' designs. We also have the right to choose a place we wish to go. So these are some laws, well, rights that we have that really make a lot of sense for our society. Although many aren't really something to prosecute someone about, but more like our rights that we have.
Right, exactly. So I do find it kind of funny when certain groups say that they don't believe in these laws. Well, I say, well, fight to change them. If you don't believe in a law, you know, you might want to read them all first. You don't believe that you have a right to be wherever you want to be in the realm. You don't believe in freedoms. The majority of these laws all speak to what freedoms they give us in our society. So I don't understand how people couldn't believe in freedoms. But I know that there's one law that everybody contests. But, if you don't believe in it, fight to change it. Get somebody to go into a meeting for you or something. Whether you believe in a law or you don't doesn't mean you can break the law. There are still consequences for actions. And like I said, if there's any law you disagree with, then just come to a meeting or go to your leader and get them to come and make change. Just don't sit back and cry that the laws aren't fair to you.
Exactly. Whenever I go through and read laws in any system, any laws, I I see the laws as telling us what we can and cannot do, but I always view them more as not, I don't look at them as negative laws. I see them as these laws are telling me what I can do. So it's how you interpret it.
Right.
Well, that about sums it up, folks. And Felly, I am really surprised at you tonight. You have not tried to electrocute yourself at all.
Yeah, I'm taking a little break from those type of shocks. And my wife says I can't get this shock machine for the cat either. I found one.
Ellie, Ellie,
I'm saying the cat still has 9 lives.
but that doesn't matter. Girl, I better not hear you messing with that kitty. I can't with you. I just can't with you. Leave the cat alone, and your wife is right. And if you don't start behaving, we're going to buy you a rubber suit. Thank you, Realm of Progeny, for watching another The More You Know podcast on the laws. Voice.
And the felly.
So please, folks, like and subscribe because you never know what we will be getting up to next.
You never know.
Never know.